a god, you dull creature!
Man, how does someone who can take this level of damage get walked over by a bunch of TVA recruits? If you enjoy deep character breakdowns like this, consider liking the video and subscribing. It really helps the channel. This is Loki we're talking about. An Avengers level threat. A literal Asgardian god with frost giant heritage. So how did this guy end up getting manhandled like a normal human in the Loki series?
That's a good question.
Loki has always been one of the most dangerous and terrifying characters in the MCU, not just because of his magic, but because of what he is, an Asgardian. And that's where the inconsistency starts. The Loki show treats him almost entirely like a magician, as if his physical strength and durability barely exist. The writers rely heavily on his tricks and illusion, and that's a problem. Let's get something straight. Asgardians are not humans with magic. They are a godly race with denser, heavier body tissue than normal humans. By MCU lore, an average Asgardian can lift up to 30 tons. That's their core biological nature. Now, Loki isn't an average Asgardian. He's a god among them, with frost giant heritage on top of that. He's gone toe-to-toe with Thor multiple times and held his own for a while. And this is Thor we're talking about. The same Thor who trades blows with the Hulk, overwhelms Captain America, and completely outscales super soldiers. That alone shows how far Asgardians scale above characters like Cap. In terms of raw superhuman strength, Asgardians arguably scale above even Spider-Man. So, logically, Loki should scale slightly above an average Asgardian in pure physical strength and durability. Yet in the Loki show, we see him restrained, thrown around, and beaten by normal-looking TVA Minutemen. These aren't gods or enhanced soldiers. They're recruits. The series implies that this happens because the TVA's headquarters exists outside of time and reality, creating a control environment that dampens and nullifies the powers of Asgardians and other powerful beings. This suppression appears to affect not only magic, but even inherent abilities like super strength, similar to how Infinity Stones become completely useless within the TVA. And to be fair, that explanation works inside the TVA. But here's where the explanation starts to fall apart. While the TVA clearly suppresses powers within its headquarters, the series never defines the limits of that suppression, or whether it should apply beyond the TVA itself, especially when it comes to a being's physical capabilities, considering we've already seen that Loki can use his magic outside the TVA. And it gets worse. There's a scene set in the year 2050 on the Gulf Coast, where people are hiding in a mall during a hurricane. This scene happens outside the TVA. No power dampening field. No headquarters that exists beyond time and reality. And yet, a regular guy completely manhandles Loki, throwing him around and overpowering him, which directly contradicts the very justification the show relies on earlier. So why did most fans notice? Because Loki is widely perceived as a mischievous trickster who relies on magic rather than brute force. Most fans focus on his illusions, teleportation, and mind games, and they forget the stated capabilities and core nature of the character. And once that expectation is gone, the writers can quietly nerf him without much pushback. This isn't just a Loki problem either. The MCU has a long-standing inconsistency issue when it comes to power levels. My co-YouTuber Zaffi pointed this out perfectly in the Spider-Man vs. Dr. Octopus fight.
Doc Ock even supposed to survive in a fight against Spider-Man? Spider-Man's punching him. They're falling from 50 feet onto a train. How is... Doc's a human. He's not enhanced. Now people say, oh, Spider-Man's not really trying with his punches. You're telling me he has full control over every single hit in this? With every single kick? He's bound to accidentally decapitate Doc Ock in real life. But whatever, it's a comic book film, we can suspend disbelief, right?
Characters are constantly buffed or nerfed depending on what the plot needs in that moment. It's the same reason people underestimate Homelander. He relies heavily on heat vision, but that doesn't change the fact that he's incredibly strong and durable. Loki is the same way. He leans on magic, so fans forget he's still a god. And once fans forget, writers take advantage of that perception to fit the story they want to tell. So the real question is this: did the Loki series intentionally erase his Asgardian strength, or did they simply ignore it because most viewers wouldn't notice? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more power scaling and character analysis, and share this with someone who still thinks Loki is just a magician. I'll see you in the next one.